What's up guys? I'm gonna do a rinseless wash here on my Subaru WRX. Alright, so this is a not a how-to video, but I'm just gonna kind of show you how I go about doing a rinseless wash with some ONR. So I have just a single chemical guy's bucket. I'm gonna fill it up full of water, or at least should probably right around here. Then I'm gonna add 2 caps of ONR. So now that the ONR is in there, I'm gonna toss the grit guard in, stir it around with the microfiber, then we're about ready to go. So as you can see, the windshield has a lot of like streaking, water spots. The paint has some water spots as well. There's no like actual like chunks of dirt. There's just some dust, water spots, and like debris. So this is like a great candidate in my opinion for an ONR rinseless wash. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of show you how I do it, just for a maintenance touch-up. All right, so generally I like to work my way top down. So whenever I apply this sponge to the car, I want it to be damp, but not dripping, almost like barely dripping. And I'm gonna go ahead and just set it there and put this in the tripod. And you want lots of clean microfibers on standby. You're going to be folding them and using them to remove the ONR solution. So I have my microfiber on the paint with ONR. It's saturated but barely dripping. I'm gonna very gently clean the area. You go back and forth in straight lines. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drop this back in the bucket while I wipe it down with a clean microfiber. We got a fresh, clean microfiber. Do the same thing here. So you can see that roof was pretty dirty, and here's what I picked up on the second go around. So you can see the initial microfiber with ONR got most of it. So this is slightly contaminated. So I'm gonna flip it over and then buff off with this clean brand new side. So I'm gonna utilize all sides of the microfiber towel in order to be as scratch free as possible. Got it. So there you go, you can see this portion of the roof is done. I'm gonna bring you back over to the other side and repeat the process. And now that this half of the towel is dirty or used, I'm gonna flip it and then redo the roof. All right, so now we're at the other side here. in here, rinse, squeeze out excess dripping water from this wash mitt, and I'm going to try to alternate sides the best I can and squeeze out any of the dirt. So you can see nothing too crazy. This is great for like a nice dusting or slight water spotting on your paint. I'm gonna come back through with the clean microfiber. And get this nice and buffed dry. So now this is buffed dry. I'm gonna go ahead and put this towel, even though it's not really that dirty, I could use this on glass or something later on, but I'm just going to toss this into my to be washed pile. I usually will hit the glass last since the windshield tends to get the dirtiest and I can use a specific windshield cleaner. So next I'm gonna do is the hood. So here is the hood, and you can see some of these water spots / dirt spots. I think there's a light rain or maybe a sprinkler at work. So I'm just gonna come across, and it's really slick. When you have ONR, you can feel the lubricity and how slick it is. And it's really keeping scratches from getting into the paint. And with these little microfiber twirl towels, I like to try to get in the cracks a little bit, very gently. So once you can do like half a hood or half a panel with one side, you can flip it over, or I like to flip it over. And now I have this clean side, I can do the other half, and then I can come in and then wipe it all down. So I'm not rubbing hard or anything, I'm just very gently just sliding this towel across. Just barely any pressure, almost letting the weight of the water in the solution kind of push it down into the paint. And I'm gonna put the microfiber wash mitt in the bucket. And that's going to hopefully soak and get any dirt out. And before we hit the next panel, we're gonna agitate that and get anything out that could have been in there. So this feels very smooth. I don't feel any dirt or anything funky in the paint. It feels very slick, and that's what you want to feel, as opposed to getting any, gritty feeling where there's dirt still getting rubbed in the paint. So as of now, this panel is pretty clean. I'm gonna turn this around, buff it with a fresh side. I'm gonna try not to touch any of the other panels that haven't been cleaned yet to avoid cross-contaminating. Got it. So this panel is now what I would consider clean, and I can move on to the next one. So once you get into a good workflow and kind of figure out how you're going to tackle a car, you really can get moving pretty quick, and just take it panel by panel, take your time, and get it nice and clean. So I'm going to do this fender next, since we're here. I'm going to agitate the microfiber wash mitt. I'm just squeezing it, letting water in and out, and just getting any dirt particles that could be in there. Just wringing it out. Got it. So now
I have the microfiber wash mitt. I'm going to just bring it across. And this really is likely a little too much water, but it'll be fine. And at this point, I can go ahead and use this. This is very, very clean. So I'm going to go ahead and just buff it off, buff this panel. Switch to the other side. And there you go. So this panel is now clean, very smooth and slick, very slick. Having a previous waxer coating makes a rinseless wash so much better.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of pick up the pace here.
And just kind of do it how I normally would by myself. And take you along with me.
I'm gonna move on to the doors. I'm gonna kind of just make a 360 around the vehicle now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the door with one side, then hit the top portion of this window frame with the other side, and then hit the mirror as well. So just like this, I'm going to agitate and wipe off any dirt or debris. I'm going to flip this other side and then hit the paint. Okay, so there's a decent amount of dirt that got trapped on here. You can see right here the ends. So I'm gonna put this back in the bucket, buff it off, or wipe it off. Not buff it off, you don't want to buff. Wipe it down. So that by this point, hopefully all that dirt is already gone and that it was trapped inside of those twills, or twirls, whatever you want to call them. And now they're getting deposited in the bucket. So at this point, everything should be clean and good for me to wipe down. Okay. I'm going to actually flip the side and give it kind of a little of a buff. Just make sure everything is off. You can put a microfiber and soak it in there in the ONR solution, and then use that kind of as your wash mitt since it's going to be so dirty. And you can just keep the wash mitt clean for the paint, the actual rest of the paint work, or you can just use the microfiber wash mitt. But since I do see a decent amount of dirt on here, I'm gonna go ahead and use this microfiber, and I'm going to soak it in ONR. I'm gonna kind of use this as the wash sponge, which is like a big block of foam looking substance. And some people like to use a bunch of microfiber towels. So I'm just going to use the microfiber towel on some of the dirtier sections. This is something I would do on the wheels as well. And I'm just gonna go across this entire lower panel and just get the entire lower kick panel while I'm at it. You can see right here, there's a decent amount of dirt that I just pulled off. Well, I mean, I guess compared to the rest of the car. But I'm gonna use pretty much discard this or kind of save this, put it back in the bucket and wait, and then do the other side with it. And I'm going to buff off this lower panel. Got it. Let's keep it moving and hit the
rear driver's side door. These doors and parts of the roof done. I'm just thinking about the process and the way of doing this. Generally top down. But as far as workflow goes, I think the last two actual body panels I like to get are the rear bumper and then the front bumper. The front bumper usually has all the bugs, all the real nasty stuff, all the big dragonflies, whatever. So I like to usually get that last because that'll get your water pretty dirty. So. And then the rear bumper tends to have a lot of kick up dirt that got kicked up from the road. Not so much bugs, but you know, if you have a modified car, maybe exhaust particles and you know, some just debris from, you know, your engine. So here we go. You can see here, this is a cleaned panel, and here is not cleaned. Here's a good comparison here. And here's the progress so far. We've done hood, fender, doors. Have not hit the windshield yet, but it's looking much better. Go ahead. Just give you nice agitation. I'm gonna flip this over and then get the rear part of the trunk. I'm gonna get this lower lip piece too, since we're kind of having to, where the trunk and the bumper meet. Fresh microfiber. So just moments ago, I showed the trunk before it was washed. It looks like I do have Oh, it's just dust. Looks like I have a little bit of dust there. But here is the cleaned trunk and spoiler. Just have a little bit of dusting. And we're gonna come back around and get that glass. I have the entire trunk lid back. So we're gonna go hit the other side. You can get up in wheel wells, but you're gonna wanna have a old rag or sacrificed specific rag to get up in there, because you don't want to be having a an issue where you're using a nice clean rag to do your wheel wells. It picks up a bunch of dirt and you get all up your paint, scratch your paint. Because we have this quarter done. Normally I would clean inside the gas cap, but I mean I just cleaned inside of there literally a few days ago. So you're gonna skip that, not worry about it. I know it's clean in there. And get this rear door and front door. Once we are done washing, I'm gonna show all the grit that this grit guard captured at the bottom, that sunk down in the bottom. It's kind of shocking to, I mean, I'm a skeptic, so it took me a while to get on the whole ONR thing. And it took me a while to get on the whole grit guard thing, because to me, I was like, I know that obviously rocks are getting, dirt's gonna fall to the bottom like a pool of water, but it just seemed kind of gimmicky. So after this, I'm going to show what the grit guard caught, and you can determine yourself if it's something worth using. I mean, this car isn't that dirty. I mean, it wasn't clean, that's for sure, but it wasn't dirty. I had like water spots from just driving through, some like sprinkles, and you know, I mean, there was dirt, but if there's mud caked and stuff on your paint, I mean, I would not be doing a rinseless wash personally. I like to foam the car down and, you know, do the whole shebang. But you know, for dust, light debris, I mean, you can knock a rinseless wash out in 30 minutes if you're really going at it. A lot of times, I mean, I can get this car done or get a sedan done in 15 minutes if I'm really hustling. But, you know, I prefer to enjoy my time and, you know, just take it slow. I like detailing cars and putting in a podcast and like Joe Rogan, Obsessed Garage podcast. Ironically, those are probably the only two that I really listen to. It'd be nice to find something else. Oh, and then also the No podcast as well. Some cool guests. It's always fun listening to guys just talk shit. I really like to get something or have gained something after listening to a podcast. You know, something where it makes you think, or you have some newfound, knowledge or understanding. Because I don't want to sit there and just be mindless the entire time. I like to learn or get other people's perspective on life. You can learn a lot from people. some of these lighter yellow towels are older than the darker ones, if that makes any sense. So like the darker have been washed less. So in return, they kept more color. And it seems to me, these are the Costco microfibers, which I really do like for the money. But when you look at the difference here, I mean, it's weird to think this is the same towel. It was at some point, same towel. This, I mean, there's plushness and, you know, supple. This, almost like the pores of the towel are clogged. This seems to just push around water. This seems to like actually absorb water. These do okay. Like these are going to be downgraded to wheel duty here soon, but I mean, I think I paid for the Costco ones in the 20s of dollars for a whole bunch. So you can just use them, wash them, and once they don't work well anymore, use them on wheels and, you know, lower body trim stuff or interior, and then they get downgraded even further from there onto animal cleanup or house cleanup. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this lower rocker and then this little garnish area. I feel like I've come up with a different name for it every single time now. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this microfiber that I prepared, or that I used earlier. And just kind of bring it across. Gently rubbing out. I don't know if rubbing is the right word, but I guess agitating, gently rubbing, brushing. This towel, I mean, it's dirty, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you clean both your rockers and it's just this much dirt, it's not bad. So, pop it off. Got it, and I'm gonna hit this fender. Rear bumper, front bumper, glass. I have these Michelin Pilots for All Season 4. Pretty sure that's the name of that. Something along the lines of that. Whoever owned this car before me put these tires on. Not the wheels, I bought the wheels and had the tires swapped over, but whoever owned this car before me chose those tires, and dude, they're really nice. I had a dedicated set of summer tires. They were BF Goodrich G-Force Comp 2 summer tires, and just personally, I mean, the sidewall seemed much stiffer, which I really liked. That was on an STI. But the sidewall was much stiffer, and I'm not sure if it was just like the car, looking back on it, or the tires, but I feel like these tires are just a little more daily driver focused, a little more give, a little more comfort. It'd be great for like a Audi or Volkswagen or something. But I think I just wish they had a little more direct feeling. Maybe it's just me. Probably it's just me. But I know Michelin's like one of the best, if not the best, tire manufacturers in my opinion. So I'm gonna see how they do in the winter, the all season. I mean, I can't complain for a all season, you know? They've done me pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this rear bumper, show you the dirt we're dealing with here. Very lightly, you could see it flat, like going up and down when I was on the highway. It's really bothering me. I was like, what is going on? Apparently there's these like little rubber inserts that you could twist to like adjust tension. I don't know for sure, but it stopped, but now it sits a little higher than it did. I think I need to adjust it still. I'm not. There's some bug guts here. It's really not bad at all, actually. But just getting the bug stuff. And it all comes off really easily once you have like a foundation layer of wax or ceramic or, you know, something to really get the crap. Stuff just starts sliding off. That's when it's really nice. It makes rinseless washing so much easier. Once I'm done, I'm gonna apply a ceramic detailer, ceramic wax, just to give it a little pop and top up. Not that it really needs that either, because I just put it on less than a week ago. But this car got some of that shiny paint. Slick look. So right here, I just used a wet ONR soaked rag to wipe the wheels down. And nice and fresh. So two things I'm big on right now is the ceramic quick detailer and the Griot ceramic 3-in-1 wax. I really like the 3-in-1 wax. It makes the paint incredibly slick. But as a little touch up, do we know what we share? have to pour this out in the mulch. And that's what we're left with at the bottom. It's all dirty. So you would be the decider if that's worth it to you. And this is a good idea to rinse and wash out before you use it next. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching my video, me just kind of doing a rinseless wash on my car. Thanks for sticking it out and watch my videos. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks, guys.